Today, we're installing a kitchen faucet. It should take around half an hour to 2 hours, depending on how experienced you are. Don't get scared by this project. You can do this. And once you do, it will give you all sorts of confidence to take other projects around the home on. I'll show you all the tips and tricks and some things I learned that aren't in the instructions, so you can have a successful installation. This is the second video. Video number 1 was removing the faucet that was here before this one. And that video is posted up here and down below. Let's get started. This is the faucet we're going to install today. This is an unsponsored video. I'm not getting paid anything by Kohler or anybody else to demonstrate this install. And we're going to follow the instructions. This is a video of the cartoons that are right here. Take the giant faucet out of the box and just push that spring on there like that. This is going to be a much taller faucet than we originally had. This is the first point the instructions don't have. We need to put this plastic gasket, and it's going to sit down in here like this and run this guy through here. It shows this piece in there like that, so I guess that's what we're going to do. And then run all these lines through again. That's a little more of a solid interface with the sink. If you had a 3-hole setup, you would put this piece on here like this before you put the faucet in. But we don't have that, so we don't have to worry about it. And now the fun begins. Take these screws and run them up 6 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch up through here. And then we're going to take and run this rubber gasket in this washer up here and then twist this on, which we'll see about 100 times, onto the bottom of the faucet. Rubber washer, metal washer, and this brass that's going to go on that brass there. It may not be brass, but that's the golden color. Take your time and do this right, and then just spin it a whole bunch of times until it gets all the way to the top, and then start tightening it down. For this faucet, the handle's on this side, and you want to make sure that's nice and solid. So I actually had to rotate it because when I first put it down, the handle was in the front here. Didn't want that. You want it on the side. And just make sure that you're not bumping up against the back of the wall, counter, or anything like that. Once you've done it a whole bunch of times, you'll get it up to this point, and it will be finger tight. And this is where you take, in this case, a Phillips screwdriver, tighten these screws down to secure the faucet onto the top of the sink. Here are the 2 lines. I've seen one line with a red band on it. This one actually says cold on it, so you know which one to connect to which line. Marked before I disconnected the old faucet, cold here and hot here. So it's just a matter of hand tightening those and then taking a wrench and tightening it up enough so that it's right on the mark. The cold one behind the pipe, hopefully it's going to reach, and then the hot line will go here. And I also put an H here and a C on top here to make sure that I know exactly which one is going where. It's important that you don't wrench these into place first. You need to really kind of finger tighten them into place because you don't want to cross the threads. You possibly will damage your main line and also the faucet line. Hand tighten them as much as you can before you bring a wrench into play. The lines are attached. The cold line was pretty tight, so I'm hoping that's not going to leak. I could put some Kevlar tape in there if for some reason it's going to. But before you turn those on, the instructions recommend you run the water into a bucket for a minute to clear out any kind of debris that might be in the system. Never done that before, but I can see that as a best practice. So we're going to give that a shot. Hot and cold faucets have been turned back on. No leaks. That's good. Now we're going to go up here, turn on the handle, and we've got water coming out. Okay, I thought the cartoon showed that this line was going to be where the water comes out, but it was that line up there. So it started spraying all over the place here. So I got to dry that out. Slide a bucket somewhere in there. Maybe not a bucket, but something else. And turn the line back on. So this is my solution. There's no way in heck I'm going to be able to get a bucket in there. So what I've got is some nylon tubing. You could use a hose or something because this fixture is not very big. And then I'm going to run it to the bucket here. So let's turn the faucet on and see if it leaks again. Ah, success. A little bit of leak. It's coming out of the top, and you know what? I'm not so convinced that this is a great step anyway. So I think we're going to shut it off and hope the debris is gone because it's just too darn messy. Now you got this counterweight you got to install, and this is probably pretty vague in the instructions. It's just a clamshell kind of thing with 2 Phillips head screws, and you put it on either side. You don't want to cinch it down at this point so that you can adjust it. Maybe a little tighter than that so it doesn't swing all over the place. That's pretty good. Friction fit. And this is what brings the top sprayer back into the fixture. So note to Kohler, your cold line could be longer, your hot line could be a little longer, and this stem that connects to this here so that you can use the faucet needs to be a little longer. Just looks like a pressure fit. No buttons like on the one that I got rid of. Ah, look at that, nice and snap. That was pretty easy. I sure hope it holds. All right, so now you take the counterweight and you want, they say 2 inches above the bend. So I'd say about there. If for some reason this isn't right and the return on your faucet just isn't working, just adjust it up before tightening it down. The last step. Now let's turn it all on and see if it works. Da 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 da. Oh yeah. Now I gotta turn it off. Any leaks down below? No. Success! Woohoo! Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in all sorts of home repairs, making and breaking things, designs of all kinds, I even do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe, because you never know what home project you may see.